Assalamu alaikum students, and welcome back to these online sessions organized by our school SLS. I am Atika Shakil and I will be teaching you social studies in grade 6. I hope you all are good and staying safe at your home. I really hope that these online sessions are proving to be productive for all of us. We are studying chapter 21, Islam First Reaches the Subcontinent. It's on book page number 94 till 99. Today we have to start its lesson 3. Today's topic is the Ghoris and the Sultanate of Delhi. It's on book page number 96 till 97. Objectives of today's topic. Number 1. To learn about the early Muslim dynasties, the Ghoris and the Delhi Sultanate. Number 2. To know the areas conquered by the Ghoris. Number 3. Role of Qutb Aibak in laying foundation of Delhi Sultanate. Eliciting of previous lesson. In lesson 2, we did eliciting of lesson 1 in the form of question answers. Here, to elicit a lesson 2, I have made some blanks. I want you to answer all of them. In case you couldn't answer any of them, I want you to revise the topic. Moving to our topic, the Ghoris and the Sultanate of Delhi. First, we should know who were the Ghoris or who ruled the Ghoris dynasty. An Iranian dynasty from the Ghor region of modern-day Afghanistan. It was ruled by two brothers, Shahabuddin, known as Muhammad of Ghor, or more commonly as Muhammad Ghori, and his brother Ghazuddin Muhammad. Ghor is a region in Afghanistan. More specifically, it's in the west central part of Afghanistan and it's a small state. The reason we have written here Iranian dynasty is that the brothers Muhammad Ghori and Ghazuddin Muhammad, they had their origin from Iran. Now we will study what were the areas conquered by the Ghoris. The Ghoris invaded Central Asia in the command of Ghazuddin, and his brother Muhammad Ghori invaded India. Under his great general Qutb Aibak, his army swept across northern India, bringing all the area from Afghanistan to Bengal under his control. Here I want you to recall our previous lesson in which we studied about the Ghaznavids. We studied that when Mahmud of Ghazni died, his empire disintegrated. As his successors, they were incompetent, so different rulers, they tried to invade and conquer their region. At that time, this land of Afghanistan, where it's written Ghazni, the capital city of Ghaznavi's empire, it was invaded and conquered by the Ghoris. Mainly Ghazuddin Muhammad, he was the one who invaded and conquered this whole region of Afghanistan. Near Ghazni, you can see a black spot. This black spot, it represents small state of Ghor, and this is from where the Ghoris dynasty started. Later on, Ghazuddin's brother Muhammad Ghori, he tried to invade this whole region of India. To enter India, he had two ways, either to enter through Gomal Pass or Khyber Pass. At that time, Khyber Pass, it was strongly guarded by the soldiers of the Ghaznavid dynasty. So, at first, Muhammad Ghori, he chose to enter India through Gomal Pass, but it was a failed attempt. So later on, he came up with some new strategies, and this time he invaded India through Khyber Pass and he got succeeded. This is how this whole region of India became a part of the Ghoris dynasty. Later on, with the help of his great general Qutb, his armies, they swept across northern India, bringing all the area from Afghanistan to Bengal under his control. Here we will study about the time period when the Ghoris dynasty came to an end. The Ghoris ruled from 1173 to 1202. Afterwards, Muhammad Ghori was the sole ruler from 1202 to 1206. This year was the end of the Ghoris empire. They are telling us that from 1173 to 1202, both brothers Muhammad Ghori and Ghazuddin Muhammad, they were ruling the empire. But when Ghazuddin Muhammad died, Muhammad Ghori, he was left alone. So he was the one who was ruling and handling affairs of the whole dynasty till 1206. Why till 1206? Because in 1206 Muhammad Ghori he got murdered and his killers were unknown. So this is how the Ghori's empire came to an end. Moving to our next character. Any guesses whose picture is this or which place is it? I can give you a hint. This is a picture of one of the famous and great generals of Muhammad Ghori. Yes, we are talking about Qutbuddin Aibak. Introduction. Aibak was a former Turkic Mamluk slave of Muhammad Ghori who later became great general of Ghori's army. He was in charge of Ghori's territories in northern India. Here, the word Mamluk, it means property. This word was designated to non-Muslim Turkic slaves or Muslim rulers who had slave origin. For your information, I want to tell you that Qutbuddin, he was also a slave. Once in a slave market, a Persian merchant, he got him in his slavery. Later on, Qutbuddin, he learned many skills. He learned horse riding, he got good in fighting, and he had strong mind. One day, when Muhammad Ghori, he met that Persian merchant, there he had a little conversation with Qutbuddin. Muhammad Ghori was so inspired by Qutbuddin that he decided to take Qutbuddin with him to his state. There, when Muhammad Ghori saw that Qutbuddin is so loyal to him and because of his great mind and great leadership skills, he appointed him as the general of his army. So when Muhammad Ghori died, with the consent of all other members and army, it was decided that Qutbuddin should be the one to take charge of the Ghori's territories in northern India. Foundation of the Delhi Sultanate. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, Aibak became the first Muslim ruler of all northern India, and this was the beginning of the Delhi Sultanate ruled by the Mamluk dynasty. Delhi Sultanate comprised of 5 different dynasties. The first dynasty to rule this area was Mamluk dynasty or slave dynasty. Now why we are saying it as Mamluk or slave dynasty? Because the founder of this dynasty, Qutbuddin, he was a slave. Construction of Qutb Minar. Aibak constructed Qutb Minar in 1193. It was built to celebrate Muslim dominance in Delhi after the defeat of Delhi's last Hindu ruler. When Qutbuddin he defeated the last Hindu ruler, to celebrate his victory, he decided to build Qutb Minar. Unfortunately, he couldn't complete its construction. He just laid the foundation of Qutb Minar. Later on, it was completed by his son-in-law Iltutmish. Death of Aibak. In 1210, Aibak died while playing chogan, a form of polo. It's a game, as he fell down from horse and died instantly. So this is how the time period of the first ruler of Mamluk or slave dynasty came to an end. This map shows areas conquered by Qutbuddin Aibak. According to Key, these stripped areas, they were extended under Qutbuddin Aibak's invasion. Moving to the last character of today's dynasty, Iltutmish. Introduction. Iltutmish was the son-in-law of Aibak. He ruled the former Ghori's territories in northern India. He was the first Muslim sovereign to rule from Delhi and third Sultan of Mamluk or slave dynasty. Just for your information, I want to tell you that Iltutmish was also a slave. And the reason for saying him the first Muslim sovereign to rule from Delhi is that before him, the rulers, they made Lahore as their capital city, but Iltutmish was the one who shifted his capital from Lahore to Delhi. And the third Sultan of Mamluk or slave dynasty. Who was the first Sultan? Yes, Qutbuddin was the first Sultan of Mamluk or slave dynasty. After his death, another emperor came, but he couldn't rule for much time, so Iltutmish took charge of all this kingdom. Problems faced by Iltutmish. During his reign, different rulers started revolt against him as they tried to become independent. But Iltutmish tried his best to maintain a stable administration. One of the serious invasions were by the Mongols from Central Asia under the command of Genghis Khan. Who were Mongols? If you remember, in our first chapter, in our first lesson, we studied about Central Asia, and there was a place in Central Asia named as Mongolia. So people who belong to Mongolia, they are called as Mongols. Mongols, they tried to attack India under the command of their leader Genghis Khan, but it was a failed attack as neither sides won. So Mongols, they had to go back to their land, that was Central Asia. Completion of Qutb Minar. Iltutmish completed the construction of Qutb Minar that was started by Qutbuddin Aibak. This construction was completed 2 centuries later after the death of Qutbuddin. Later on, Qutb Minar, it was designated as one of the world's heritage site. Qutb Minar is outside Delhi and is 80 meters high. Death of Iltutmish. Iltutmish died on April 30, 1236. He was buried in Qutb complex in Mehroli. It's a place in India. That was all about today's topic. Now it's time for home assignment. You have to find the answers of the given questions. Number 1, who ruled Ghor? Number 2, where did the 2 brothers of Ghor invade? Number 3, who was Qutbuddin Aibak? Number 4, what problems did Iltutmish face? Number 5, who constructed Qutb Minar and where is it located? And here is a note for you. To find the answers, take help from book page number 96 and 97. Here I have displayed picture of book page number 96, the topic that we studied today, the Ghoris and the Sultanate of Delhi, and it continues to page number 97. This is a picture of Genghis Khan, who was the commander or ruler of Mongols who invaded India, but they got fail in it. And this is a picture of Qutb Minar, one of the world's heritage site that is outside Delhi and is 80 meters high. That was all about today's topic. I hope it was clear to all of you. In case you couldn't understand anything, I want you to jot it down on a sticky note and keep it within that topic so that when you will come to school, we will discuss it in detail. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Allah Hafiz.